it kind of ratcheted up that feeling of being in some kind of out-of-control tragedy.
On Tuesday, day 5 of the standoff, the FBI finally investigates the crime scene. They quickly learn that what the marshals had been reporting may have been greatly exaggerated.
You know, if you're pinned down for 12 hours, there's going to be several hundred rounds that have been fired, maybe several thousand rounds to pin down that many people. And we didn't find the shell casings. We didn't find the rounds. Found a few.
The special rules of engagement, which are still officially in place, are finally called off. On Wednesday, August 26th, on the other side of the country, in Quincy, Massachusetts, services are held for U.S. Deputy Marshal William Deegan, who was killed in the same shootout that killed Sam. Back in Idaho, the roadblock protest has turned into an around-the-clock vigil. As word spreads, the tone at the roadblock changes. The locals are joined by neo-Nazis and skinheads who have come from all over the country to show their support for the Weavers and their beliefs.
We had heard on the local news that there were people gathering at the roadblock, which felt good. If they started shooting us up and everything, well, the people down at the roadblock would have known something was wrong.
That afternoon, Randy and Kevin dictate a note to Sarah, detailing exactly what they remember, in case they don't make it off the mountain.
Is there any agent here that represents Gene Glenn from the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
The standoff in Naples, Idaho has taken an unusual turn.
Bo Greitz, a retired Army colonel renowned for his work on behalf of U.S. soldiers missing in action, performed what he calls a citizen's arrest on 4 top officials.
We, as citizens of the United States, do hereby present this citizen's arrest warrant.
The whole idea was I wasn't going to arrest the governor of Idaho. I wanted action. I wanted somebody to listen to me. I wanted somebody to let me through so I could go up to the top of the ridge, not be dressed in Kevlar, carrying a submachine gun, so that maybe Weaver would talk to me.
Consider yourself served.
Then one day they said that Colonel Bo Greitz had showed up at the roadblock down below, and the next time they hollered at me, I hollered back and I told them, I said, I'll talk to Bo Greitz.
The FBI lets Bo Greitz, a Green Beret commander and right-wing icon, pass the roadblock to talk to Randy, even though they know he's a risk.
Especially knowing his political stance and his connections to some of these right-wingers. Sure, it was riskier.
And, you know, this was no good. I couldn't talk to Weaver, so I jumped off the tank, and I came right over here. I said, Weaver, this is Bo Greitz. And I saw his face just flash right there in the window of the bathroom.
Bo accomplished more during that first evening than all the negotiation had from the beginning to that point. And so that was a positive thing. The negative of Bo's dialogue was we found out a lot of things that were kind of shocking.
And then is when he told me about Vicky, and I was shocked.
I've never been shocked by any single event in my 21 years as I was by that one sentence uttered by Randall Weaver. Vicky's been killed, I've been shot, and Kevin's been shot.
Randy's in good health. Unfortunately, Vicky is dead.
Karen, the news earlier tonight, just a few moments ago, that Vicky Weaver, the wife of Randall Weaver, has been shot and killed. She was shot and killed last Saturday and has been dead for 6 days. It's a very volatile situation, although it appears to be quiet at this moment.
Yes, this will be a tense night on the roadblock.
It never entered our mind that she was anything but an active person in the cabin up there. So that was a tough night.
Never will you take another woman down. Never. May we die. We're going to war.
A lot of anger. Just hoping for daylight and hoping for something better.
This morning began very hopeful after last night's very tragic news that Vicky Weaver had been killed. In fact, there was word buzzing through all quarters that this might indeed be the big day.
On day 9 of the standoff, Bo returns at dawn to keep the dialogue going, and Randy Weaver makes sure that Bo understands what actually happened.
The door's open like this. Yep. She come out and said, "What happened?" I said, "I'm here." She goes, "Those sons of bitches." She turns around and here's the door. They knew she was there. My daughter and her and the baby was right there.
As the Weavers tell Bo their story, they learn that one of their biggest fears was true.
That thing's got a shotgun on it.
Yeah, it's sawed-off shotgun, boy, right there. You grab that telephone, boom.
The robot was sitting right in front, right up against and right in front of the door. The robot had a claw, and it had a 12-gauge shotgun that was pointed right in the door.
That's right. The robot did have a weapon. I forget what it was, a shotgun or something. But once again, as far as I know, that was an oversight.
The first real human being in all this heartbreak and trauma and tragedy to come in there to Randy was Jackie.
The next thing I knew, Bo was approaching me about going up, and it just happened before I knew it.
The FBI allows Jackie Brown, a friend of Vicky's who has been at the roadblock since the beginning, to go up and help Bo with negotiations. Randy and the girls immediately allow Jackie in. She is the first person inside the cabin since she had visited Vicky a few days before the standoff.
It wasn't a happy place anymore. It had already been proven that if they stuck their head out, they'd be shot. There's no doubt about that at that point. They believed they were going to die there, sure.
Not yet ready to give up their fight, the Weavers give Jackie a list of supplies they need and the note they had written a few days before.
That was the biggest and most important thing to us, to me anyway. Even if they killed us after that, our side of the story got out. Because at that point, I still don't think we were going to get out alive.
On day 10, Bo returns to the cabin with one objective: to get Kevin Harris out. In the days since the shooting, Kevin's wound had become badly infected and had put him close to death.
I said, "Weaver, if I have anything to do with this, if I can testify before the jury," I said, if I were on the jury, you'd fry if you let that boy die in here.
At 1:47 p.m., Kevin Harris finally surrenders. His wounds are immediately treated at a field medical tent before being flown directly to a Spokane hospital. On that same day, Jackie returns with the donated food and supplies. She and Bo take care of the next order of business, removing Vicky's body.
But I picked her up right here, and so as I walked to carry her out, gosh, they just were wailing. I've never heard such, and I've been around people that have endured, families that have endured death too much. They were just wailing and crying, and they were saying the same thing: "Bo, please, please don't let our mama's body touch the ground."
Dick Rogers was standing there with a group of FBI agents, and I simply stated I needed something to clean with. They had shut the water off, and they handed me 2 5-gallon buckets of water and towels and paper towels, and I went back in the cabin and cleaned.
Jackie Brown is allowed to clean the kitchen, unwittingly destroying evidence that could potentially damage the FBI.
Anytime